Hello, greetings, shalom, welcome once again. I'm drinking out of my Girl Power mug today, given to me by a lovely friend, and I'm so thankful. And it's people who make your life meaningful. It's not the stuff, it's the people. And once we get a handle on that, then we'll be that much closer to loving our neighbor as ourselves, and loving God who dwells in and among us. So I pray that you're having a beautiful everything. I'm sorry I haven't done a video in a long time, and it's really been on my conscience as of late, and I'm trying as much as possible to turn the noise down on a bunch of mess. But we all know that for every little bit of mess that goes away, there's like 4 or 5 that just keep on coming, and the next thing you know, your whole life is just a nice big old train wreck full of, but it's okay. We keep going. We keep on trucking. I got this flower. I think it's really pretty. I don't know what I want to do with it. I kind of want to put it in my hair, but my hair isn't big enough for it right now. So I'm just going to be like, oh, this is a pretty little flower. Really what I wanted to come on here and talk about was the nature of bone. I saw a picture on Facebook. If I could show it to you right now, I would. In fact, I think I'll try to look it up on my other device right here. Maybe it'll work that way. But the last time I tried to share this image on Facebook, I got banned because it was considered to be hate speech. Now, I really don't know how a picture could be considered hate speech. We're not going to go that deep into it though, but suffice to say someone was offended, and it was enough that I was silenced for about a week. So here's the picture. See? I don't know if you can see it well. It says baby pictures of Adam and Eve. Notice the difference? There's a huge difference. And we live in an age, in a country, and in a culture, and in a time right now where people have forgot the even basic things. Like, why should this be offensive? Why should this be offensive? Why should it be offensive that we accept and acknowledge the fact that men and women are different, right? Because people are putting out their eyes, they're cutting off their ears in order to not offend anyone. And we live in an age and a culture now where people are afraid to offend somebody. And it's not that they're afraid to offend somebody, it's that they have no root in themselves. Yeah, I said it. They got no root in themselves. When you have no root in yourself, you're going to be easily falling away. You're going to be going over here. You're going to be going over there. You don't know if you like this flower anymore. I don't know if I like this color. Oh my gosh. Next thing you know, you're praising up the fact that you're confused. Now, Satan is the author of confusion. He's the author of it. In other words, he keeps writing it. Okay? And as we lock and step instead of an outward spiral Fibonacci sequence, 3.14, all them digits, we're going in an inward one. It's inverse. It's fracture. It's even more and more. So instead of it being half, it's a quarter. Instead of a quarter, it's now an eighth. Instead of an eighth, it's a 16th, and you start dividing, division. So back to this image. I love this image because we go back to Genesis, right? Genesis. Adonai made man out of the dust of the earth, out of the ground he formed him, and into his nostrils he breathed the breath of life. And Adam was around and walking about and doing stuff. And then the Lord put him to sleep, and from his side formed, from the rib of his side, near his heart, near the lungs, the gentle bone, which expands and contracts, it moves. He formed a woman. Now, bone is a crystalline lattice structure. In my last video, I was so OCD obsessed about the nature of the blood. And why? And it's very truthful. That's a fantastic thing to be obsessed about, because the bones make the blood. It's the marrow within the bones that make the blood. The bones are the birthplace of the blood. Elsewhere in scripture, it talks about how a woman is as a fountain of blood. Zipporah saying to Moses, after she had to do what he should have done, and she was the one who had to perform, the circumcision on her own children, said, "You are a husband of blood to me." That was not a compliment, okay? And I wanted to make this video yesterday, but I neglected to because other things got in the way, and I thought that a word-based post was going to do it, and it hasn't. So here we are, and I appreciate you bearing with me. Look, I have a pretty flower. Hopefully this makes it okay. It doesn't, but bone, lattice structure, just as, and I'm going to say to you what I said on my post, because just as the skeleton is responsible for the height of a man, so a woman's virtue is the one who establishes his height or his depth. his understanding, his reasoning. If anything, you can graft muscle to bone, but if the bone is broken, you're not going to make it. That was just truth in the old world. So you want to be very careful. As far as you ladies ladies out there, we're made in the image of Adonai, crystalline structure, the blood. Only women bleed. You don't see men out there sacrificing life in order to make life, in order for life to happen within them. So it's very important that a man listen to his woman's sensitivities, that he nurture and nourish her values instead of degrading and demoralizing her or trying to make her to be like him. That's not happening. But if you are a woman and you have good character, the Lord will continue to bless you and build you up and grow you. And that lattice structure, bone will almost completely regenerate itself if given enough time. It's one of the few tissues in the body that can fully regenerate itself. Bone grafts, hey, all you got to do is just make it safe and provide for it a place to heal, and it will grow accordingly. It's crystal, okay? Women, it is a beautiful thing that you are made out of bone. And y'all men folk need to respect that. I had a lot more that I wanted to say. I was very angry yesterday. Very, very angry because the subject had to do with divorce. Even our rabbis were talking about it in Mark 10, the subject of divorce and the difference between man's vision and God's vision. We have a prayer. Set our minds on the things that are above, where Christ is seated, and not on the things that are below and on the earth, right? And so what is it that man likes to do? Man likes to he likes to do as much as he can get away with. I want to do as much as I can get. Can I get away with this? Can I get away with that? Can I get away with that? What are you doing? You are cheating. You are destroying your potential. You are devaluing the future of your generations. To the degree that you devalue the woman, to the degree that you devalue your future generations, your seed, yourself. Now, look at what happened in ancient Israel. The Jews had all about made divorce into an industry. And that's what we're doing today. Now people, when they get married, they don't even know. People don't even know what a woman is. They get mad at you when you say, well, what is a woman? What is a woman? Ugh, oh my gosh. Ugh. Women get offended. Men get offended. Why? Because you are stuck in your subjective perspective, and you are trying very hard to gain objectivity, but you can't, because only Adonai is the Most High. He has the most objective perspective. And when he says, man is this and woman is that, oh, you better accept it, or else you're just going to be cutting yourself up. Remember that Fibonacci sequence to infinite division. When you divide the bone from the flesh, if you do that to a tree, tree's not going to grow anymore. You have ever heard about that? Native Americans would say, and I hate to say Native American, whatever, they say, do not remove the bark from the circumference of the tree. You can remove some strip of bark, but do not remove the bark from the circumference of the tree. Why? Because the bark, which is the flesh, provides the life which is for the tree. But once that skeleton is entirely bare-framed, there's no more life coming to that. And when people practice divorce, or when they practice separation, or when they practice hard-heartedness, that literally allows the knife to slip in and then get in between, and then you start to pry the flesh from the bone. And then what about those children now? What about their generations? Now, those who are products of broken homes, they're going to spend the most of their life trying to, especially children, they're going to spend the most of their life with lack of reasoning. They're going to start to blame themselves. They're going to start to validate, justify, magnify. And then they're going to perpetuate the same in their own life to varying degrees. Like, not just here, but here, and here, everywhere. Because why? That practice which was done was somehow made okay. And now you're only going to have, I'm going to use this, houses. You're only going to have houses which are dark and very short and squat, because women are not allowed to grow. They're not allowed to be nurtured. You're subjecting women to a very low state, and so you're going to perpetuate this very short height of man's ideals, virtues, structures, morals. His moral compass is going to be low for future generations. So until you start to respect women, recognizing who they are, your houses are only going to be so short and squat. You want nice, tall, big cathedral type houses. Look at the various different cultures around the world. Look at African Americans. Look how we value our women. Tall, beautiful, statuesque. Men, start loving your wives, because you know what? That's your skeletal structure. You want to grow along the height of a very tall tree. You don't go picking the shortest trees in the forest to go cut down to build your house. No, you're looking for the tall ones. Tall, reasoning, moral compass, judgment, discernment of God's will. That's what it's about. I love this flower. Oh my gosh. Okay, I've had enough. I appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. I apologize for not having so many videos, but you know, I'm trying, and it's really not about me. It's not about me at all. I'm just, you know, I've noticed one thing. When it comes to the Lord, it's all the stuff that you give him. That's what he raises up. He raises up the lowly from the ash heap. It's not about what you will. It's not about what. It's not about. We can only figure so much stuff out. And for all that we see, we are completely and utterly blind. So we just have to trust him. You have to trust him. And you know what? When you start trusting him and you start believing his word and you start accepting the truth, that you know what? I don't know everything. I know one who does. And you start to compare and contrast those Venn diagrams in your life. And you say, you know what? This kind of fits over here. I like that. You can build on that. You can grow with that. The Lord can do something with that. And the next thing you know, you're just walking out in confidence and strength. And you aren't making too much of yourself. And you're not putting yourself down in the dust either. One other thing I want to say, I know I'm talking a lot. We live in an age now where it's all about somebody else's approval of you. Oh, I'm going to dress so that this person likes me. I'm going to appeal to their sensitivities. Who's my demographic? I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go this way for that. There's a time and a place for that. Sure, I'm not trying to devalue it, but just recognize that you have so much uncharted, unlimited potential. And the Lord can work. He works beyond and outside the confines of your understanding. So while you could spend 3 to 4 hours detailing out a very solid structure and plan, you know, there's going to be over 350 angles that you never even saw, you know, and he's going to be working from all of those. So to the degree that you put your trust in him, this is the degree that you're going to have great success. Okay. So love the life he gave you. Love the one he gave you. Look for ways to love the ones he gives you. And the God of peace will dwell with you. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Have a good one.